You know that feeling, right? You see that brown envelope on the doormat, you spot the HMRC logo, and your heart just plummets. It's a moment of pure anxiety for so many people, but it honestly doesn't have to be. Over the next few minutes, we're going to turn that fear into a clear, actionable plan, and we're doing it with this incredible guide put together by the tax investigation specialists at ProTax Accountant. Let's get right into it.
Yeah, that thud. We've all imagined it. It can feel like the start of a total nightmare. But what if it wasn't? What if I told you that you have a rule book, a set of rights that can turn that panic into a confident strategy? Well, that's exactly what we're going to build together right now.
So here's our roadmap for today. We're going to start with that letter, then decode what an investigation really is. And then, and this is the most important part, we'll dive deep into your rights. After that, we'll get into the nitty-gritty of penalties, lay out a step-by-step action plan, and show you where to get the kind of help that makes all the difference.
All right, Section 1, the dreaded letter. So, it's happened. It's in your hand. The first step to taking back control is just to understand what's going on. You know, fear loves the unknown, so let's switch on the lights and see what we're really dealing with.
Okay, first things first, let's just take a deep breath, because this number is so important. For the 2025 to 26 tax year, over 90%. Let that sink in. Over 90% of HMRC's compliance checks are civil cases. They are not criminal fraud investigations. For almost everyone, this is just about HMRC wanting to clarify the numbers. The odds are massively, overwhelmingly in your favor that this is a manageable civil issue.
So, what even is an investigation? Well, you'll notice HMRC uses this very bland term. They call it a compliance check. Now, that can mean anything from a tiny query about a single receipt to a full-blown review of all your accounts. The absolute key is figuring out what kind of check you're actually facing.
And this table here breaks it down perfectly. You see, not all checks are created equal. Most people, let's say a freelance web developer in London whose travel expenses looked a little high one year, they're probably going to face an aspect inquiry. That's just a targeted look at one specific thing. A full inquiry is, well, it's more involved. And then you've got the really serious one, COP 9. That's for suspected serious fraud. But here's the kicker. Even at that top level, full cooperation can often mean avoiding any criminal proceedings. Your first move is to figure out which of these boxes you're in.
Okay, so that's HMRC's process. That's what they can do. But this is not a one-way street, not even close. You have a powerful set of protections written into law. Now, stay with me, because this next part, this is your secret weapon. This is absolutely crucial. HMRC investigators do not have unlimited power. Think of it like a football game. They can't just make up the rules as they go along. They are bound by their own official rulebook, and it's called the HMRC Charter. And this isn't just a friendly suggestion. It is a legal requirement that they have to follow.
So, what are these rights? Well, at its heart, the Charter says HMRC has to assume you're honest. That's the default setting. They can't just go on a random fishing expedition for information. Their questions have to be reasonable and directly related to what they're looking at. They have to respect your privacy, speak to you in plain English, and give you a fair amount of time to get your stuff together. These aren't just nice-to-haves, they are your actual legal rights.
Now, this is one of your most powerful shields. It's called legal professional privilege. Think of it like a cone of silence between you and your qualified tax advisor. It means your confidential conversations, the advice you get, the strategies you discuss, it's all legally protected. HMRC cannot force you to disclose it. This is what allows you to be completely open and honest with your advisor, and that's absolutely vital.
Okay, here is a pro tip you can use the minute this is over. Whatever you do, don't feel rushed to respond. The moment you get a request for information from HMRC, your very first move should be to politely write back and ask for an extension. Seriously. A 30-day, even a 60-day extension is almost always granted. This gives you precious time to breathe, get proper advice, and prepare. It puts you back in control of the timeline.
Right. We've talked about your rights. Now let's talk about what's probably really on your mind. The money. If HMRC finds a mistake, yeah, there can be penalties. But, and this is a big but, the amount is not set in stone. It is directly tied to your behavior and, most importantly, how much you cooperate. Understanding this next part could literally save you thousands of pounds.
Now, pay really close attention here, because this is where people can make some incredibly costly mistakes. Just look at the difference. A simple careless error, an honest mistake, that could be a penalty of up to 30% of the tax due. But if HMRC decides that mistake was deliberate, that penalty shoots up to 70%.
And if they think it was deliberate and concealed, well, you're looking at a penalty of up to 100%, the same amount as the tax itself. This is exactly why getting professional advice on how to frame your case is so critical.
But here's the good news. You are not powerless here. You have a direct say in that final penalty figure. HMRC offers massive reductions based on 3 simple things: telling, helping, and giving access. Basically, it means coming clean, working with them, and handing over documents when they ask. And did you know? Full, high-quality cooperation can slash a potential penalty by a huge amount. The more you help, the less you pay. It really is that simple.
Let me make this real for you. Let's take a self-employed plumber in Hackney. He'd made a few honest mistakes on his tax return, and HMRC was looking at a penalty of over $2,000. The stress was, you can imagine, immense. But by getting professional representation, they helped him tell his story, present his case properly. And the final penalty? Just 720 quid. And get this, the entire investigation was wrapped up 9 months faster. So that's less money out of his pocket, way less stress, and 9 months of his life back. That's a win.
Okay, so we've covered the risks, we've covered your rights. Now let's put it all together into a solid action plan. This is your playbook for the moment you get that letter. No panic, just a clear sequence of steps to follow.
All right, here it is. Step 1, and this is the big one. Do not ignore it. But also don't fire off a panicked reply. Just read it. Then, within 7 days, step 2, get an expert in your corner. This is the absolute game changer. After that, acknowledge the letter, ask HMRC for their official fact sheets so you know the rules they're playing by, and keep a detailed log of every single phone call and email. And finally, know that you have 30 days to appeal if a penalty is proposed. Follow this, and you're on the right track.
We've covered a ton of ground here. Different types of checks, your legal rights, how penalties work, the action plan. But if you were to walk away with just one single thing from all of this, what should it be?
It's this. You do not have to, and you absolutely should not face this alone. Seriously. Trying to navigate an HMRC investigation by yourself is like trying to perform surgery on yourself. It requires specialist knowledge. Getting an expert on your team from day one is the single biggest thing you can do to reduce the stress, the time, and the final tax bill.
And that, of course, is where the team at ProTax Accountant comes in. If you've received that letter, or if you just have any worries at all about your tax affairs, they are the people to call. The contact details are right there on your screen. You can WhatsApp them, call, or send an email. The most important thing is, don't put it off.
Okay, and before we wrap this up, just a quick but very important disclaimer. Everything we've talked about today is for general guidance. Your tax situation is unique to you, and this information shouldn't be your only basis for making big financial decisions. So, for advice that's tailored specifically to your circumstances, you really must consult with a qualified expert, like the team at ProTax Accountant. Taking that step is truly the best way to make sure you get the best possible outcome. Thanks so much for joining me today.